Okay, now sorry about that, y'all. A little technical difficulty we had with the intro playing, but it's cool. We here, we in the house. So welcome everybody back to another episode of the Saturday Sit Down. I am T Harris at When the Needle Drops.
And I'm QG at Nerdy Little Bubba.
All right, and as always, here on the Saturday Sit Down, our mission is to share our love for music in a way that is accessible and enjoyable for everyone, from the novice to the knowledgeable, with the goal of never being loud and wrong. Let the church say amen.
Amen to that.
All right, so before we get into the show topic, as always, as you see scrolling down at the bottom of your screen, please remember to subscribe, follow, like, and share the Saturday Sit Down on YouTube and Instagram. All right, and speaking of YouTube, we got another milestone to celebrate, my brother. We are now at 400 subscribers on the YouTube. All right. 400 subscribers on the YouTube. So as we've had in some private conversations, man, you know, we sort of grew this thing organically. You know, we didn't go into it with a set number of followers or subscribers that we were trying to get. But from January till now, this page is grown by 300 plus followers since January 1 of 2025. So we are excited about what the future holds. Thank you, though. Thank you for those of you who either tune in to the live episodes, either watch the replays, or watched our shorts, which are basically clips from the long episodes that we post to sort of give you a teaser into what we've been talking about for each topic. So, anything you want to add about that, man?
Man, we're so thankful. We're so appreciative of all of you rocking with us, since the beginning, and all of our newcomers. We thank you so much for contributing to getting those numbers up. And we're going to keep on pushing till we hit milestone of 500,000, 10,000, all the way to 1 million. We going.
Yeah, we going. We trying to go up, man. So, of course, the next milestone will be a big one. It'll be 500. So be on the lookout. We hit 500, Q. We got to do a live celebration show that night.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to do that.
All right, so before we even get into the topic, first of all, I want to say Happy Founders Day to you, my dear brother.
Happy Founders Day to you, bro. And all right, it's my time to shine.
Your time to shine. Yeah.
You already know I got to give a big shout to all of the men of distinction representing Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. You know, I got to give a special shout to the chapter that made us, the chapter that we helped make, the one and only internationally known Theta Nu chapter at the University of South Carolina. And I got to give a shout to my current home grad chapter, the Frozen Pharaohs of Prince George's County, Maryland, aka the Pi Upsilon Lambda chapter. I'll see you at Largo, Maryland.
Y'all know Q was going to show out when it came to the Founders Day shout out, man. But yeah, December 4th, 1906, we celebrate 119 years of excellence. That's the weather was frigid on the East Coast this week. It was real cold on Thursday, and it wasn't just the weather. So if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I'm feeling that alpha spirit. I got with the brothers this morning at our, I think it's the 27th annual Founders Day breakfast. So yeah, and it was a good time. We had a great speech by one of the Maryland representatives, who's also our brum. Yeah, it was just a great time to be in that number.
Man, I'm glad to hear that, man. So again, man, shout out to the brothers of the Black and Old Gold, celebrating 119 years of excellence this past week. So Q, tell the good people why they are here tonight.
All right, they are here tonight because we're doing our year-end wrap-up. We're going to talk about the top topics musically of 2025. Although there's a whole lot more we can get into, but we just going to keep it with the music.
Yeah. So we're going to try to, our goal we said with this episode is we're going to try our best to keep it to an hour. We're going to try our best to keep it to an hour. But if we run over, it's all good. Again, if you are here for the live episode, please drop your comments and responses in the SAT chat. If you are a viewer of the show, you know that the chat always adds some interesting tidbits and takes to our discussion, and we sort of feed off of what they're talking about when they are present. So we're going to begin with topic number 1 on today's show. In memoriam, man, we lost some heavy hitters this year as far as the music industry is concerned. So I'm just going to go down the list, man, and you just we can both share just a tidbit about each particular artist. Let's start with Walter Scott of the Whispers.
Yeah, that was a tough one to start things off. You know, he was one half of the Scott twins that made the Whispers, and the Whispers
Mhm.
gave us timeless classics that people are still rocking to this day.
Correct, correct. Q, let me ask you a question, man. I was late jumping on the Whispers train, but how did you get into the Whispers, man? Because I know that's one of your favorite groups.
I'm trying to remember. I think when I was a kid, I heard. Oh, I know what it was. It was the song "Rock Steady."
Okay.
I remember hearing the song "Rock Steady," and I saw when they performed "Rock Steady" on Soul Train, of course. And
Yeah.
then I remembered it was another song that they had out, and then somehow I came across one of their greatest hits CD when I was in my teenage years, and that's
Mhm.
what started it from there. And then that's when I started digging back even further and further, and realizing that, oh, okay, this song sampled this, and this song sampled that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy because like after Walter Scott passed away, before that, we had just done an episode on Boogie and
yep.
post disco, and the Whispers played a huge part in that shift from disco
Mhm.
to that post boogie, that post disco boogie era. So they were sort of the kings of that era as far as their music is concerned. Shout out to the Whispers
Yeah.
and the surviving members of that. Oh, another thing I wanted to ask you, man, how were you able to tell the two Scott brothers apart vocally? I've never been able to do that, man.
It's hard. You really can't because I
Yeah,
mean they got the same mannerisms.
they do.
They sound the same.
Yep.
So I can't really tell them apart as to who's singing what part of the
Yeah,
song.
me either, man. So next, we're going to talk about Mr. Wayne Lewis of Atlantic Star. We lost him earlier this year as well. Atlantic Star, that's another group that they were very, very prominent in the 80s and gave us several dance jams, but also gave us some amazing ballads too. Send For Me is one of my favorite R&B ballads of the 80s.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
play that one all the time. I like Send For Me. I like Four Leaf Clover,
yeah.
Silver Shadow.
Hmm.
Um, the Boogie Jam for me is Circles.
Yep.
Let's not forget they also gave they also gave the side piece Him and Secret Lovers.
Secret Lovers.
Yeah, they gave Secret Lovers, but then they also gave what I like to call probably the black folk wedding song, the prom song of 1984 and 5, and that was Always.
Always, yeah, man. One of my late aunt's favorite songs that I was introduced to Atlantic Star via that song. But you and I, we agree, and some of our followers and subscribers agree too. We like Atlantic Star with Sharon Bryant. No disrespect to Barbara Weathers, but Sharon Bryant is that we like that iteration of Atlantic Star much
Yep.
much better. All
Yep.
right,
And they were a part of that boogie movement, that post disco boogie movement. And I believe they were from um, no, they were from New Rochelle. I was about to say Mount Vernon, but they're from New Rochelle. But
hmm,
still, I mean, they contributed to the talent that came out of the New York City area.
absolutely. Another heavy hitter we lost this year was Sam Moore of Sam and Dave.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Sam and Dave, Stax Records. One of their more prominent hits, some of their songs were produced by none other than Isaac Hayes, who
Hmm.
was an in-house producer for Stax Records.
Yep.
Particularly the song "Hold On, I'm Coming."
Yep.
Yeah, Soul Man. What's the other one? Oh God, I can't think of.
They
They
had a
had
whole bunch. Soothe Me,
yeah,
baby. They have
that's it.
There's
That's
something
it.
wrong with my baby.
Yes, I'm wrong with my baby. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had many hits, and they worked so well together.
they
You
did.
could tell Sam and Dave when Sam was singing his part and Dave singing his part. Yeah, they basically helped build the stack sound of the '60s.
Oh, for sure. All right. Um, Speaking of Stax Records, yesterday we lost their legendary guitarist, studio session musician, and member of Booker T and the MGs, Mr. Steve Cropper.
Hmm.
So a lot of almost all those Stax records you hear, when you hear that jamming guitar, that's Mr. Steve Cropper.
Yep,
So
yep.
he
He was on the
contributed to the sound of Stax Records.
Yep, he was on the guitar. Donald Duck Dunn, rest in peace. He was on the bass, and I mean, you
Hmm.
just knew their sound. And again, it was significant because if you look at the Rise of Stax Records, it was during the era of segregation, and it's amazing how black folk, white folk was able to come together and make some of the grooves that
Hmm.
people listen to.
Exactly. Yeah, that. If you have not had a chance to check out Soulsville, USA, the story of Stax Records on HBO Max, I challenge you to watch that over the holidays when you get some free time. That is an excellent documentary. And also go back to in our catalog from this year of previous shows. We actually did a Southern Soul Stax Records episode earlier this year. So definitely check that out. We did a deep dive on Stax Records and some of our favorite tracks from that legendary record label. All right. Next artist we want to discuss is Miss Gwen McCrae. Miss Gwen McCrae. We lost her earlier this year.
Gwen McCrae gave us the song Rocking Chair. She also had a couple joints that came out in the early 80s. Matter of fact, there was a song, I think it's called Get Up, and that song was actually sampled by the Lost Boys.
Yes. Yep. Get up, get up and clap your hands on the first Lost Boys album. Yep.
And she was one of the I guess you could say drivers of the TK Records sound, even though she was signed to one of their subsidiaries, and she was married to George McCrae, who also had a song called Rock Me Baby.
Rock Me Baby, and then he did Get Lifted, which was also covered. He did the first version. It was covered by KC and the Sunshine Band, which if you're a hip hop head, you know that was the sample using Keith Murray's song Get Lifted, which was produced by the Green Eye Bandit himself, Eric Sermon.
That's right.
All right. Let's talk about Miss Roberta Flack. Legend. Gifted pianist, songwriter. Her collaborations with Donny Hathaway were always amazing, but she was an amazing artist in her own right. Those of us of a certain age know that many of us really didn't know who she was unless you were into her music until we were introduced to her when the Fugees covered Killing Me Softly on the score. So, of course, you learned that it was a Roberta Flack song when that song debuted, when that song was tearing up the charts in 96.
Yep. I remember the first song I heard by her was Where's the Love, but I didn't know that was her singing that song. But
yeah, she had that. There's a song, Far Away, that was sampled by DJ Toomp and T.I.'s What You Know. Feel Like Making Love, which was covered by D'Angelo. I think if I'm not mistaken, she also won several Grammys for some of her songs and compositions in the 70s. Did. So yeah, one of the more prominent artists in the 70s. And she's Southern as well, from North Carolina. Yep. All right. Miss Angie Stone. Got to give a shout out to our South Carolina homegirl, Miss Angie Stone. We lost her tragically early this year. One of the prominent artists of the neo soul movement. That one came as a shocker, man. Oh man.
Yeah, that one hit me upside the head because I was like, wait a minute, what? I remember I was riding out somewhere and I saw when the alert came across the phone and I was like, wait a minute, what? Wait a minute, this can't be true. And it's just the way how she passed is what got me. But she was a talent within her own right. She started out with a group called The Sequence. They were signed to Sugar Hill Records. They were one of the first female rap groups to come out during that time. And then she was able to branch out in years later. And she was a part of that neo soul movement. So rest in peace, Miss Angie Stone.
Yep. We also got to give her some love for being a part of the group Vertical Hole.
She was.
Seems you're much too busy. And also working behind the scenes. Like you said, this even within the industry, she also was an acclaimed songwriter and producer in her own right. Mr. Dwayne Wiggins of Tony.
Man,
wow,
that was another one that
was a huge surprise, man. I'm just glad that him and Raphael and the other gentlemen that make up the trio of Tony were able to tour again. So he was able to see how much everybody loved and appreciated the music that they crafted during their time together as a group, man. So excellent instrumentalists. Tony. They sort of were that alternative soul group out of Oakland. You can tell they were inspired by Sly and some of the things that he did during his years of prominence in the 60s and 70s. But yeah, Dwayne was extremely talented in his own right.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he was the one that helped drive that Tony sound, which, was kind of branched off from, because New Jack Swing was the thing when they came out. If you listen to their sound was completely in a different direction.
Yeah.
It was still funky, but it was not that New Jack Swing, John tempo, and I think that's why they made him so popular.
Yeah. Mr. Roy Ayers is another heavy hitter we lost.
Yeah.
Roy Ayers, the godfather of neo soul.
Yes, he was.
It was so cool that like all those artists that were prominent in the neo soul movement reached back to him when they were having their success and brought him on board and used him as an instrumentalist in some of their songs. Of course, we all know Everybody Loves the Sunshine, which was sampled in Mary J's My Life. He had several hip hop samples to his credit. He also, if you are into the Tiny Desk concerts that they do on NPR, he has a Tiny Desk concert as well. So that's definitely worth checking out. So yeah, shout out to Roy Ayers, man.
You talk about somebody that had an impact on the R&B genre, and I mean, he could play a vibraphone. Like he knew how to work that vibraphone like nobody else. And
extremely.
So his contribution to not only just R&B but also hip hop. And the thing I liked about Roy Ayers is that he embraced hip hop. Like at the time when a lot of artists, was trying to shy away, like, oh, I don't understand it, or I really don't want them I don't like them sampling my music. He embraced it, and the artist basically embraced him back.
For sure. Mr. Sly Stone.
Man, you talk about black genius on wax. He was in a class of his own, and that was another shocking loss. Unfortunately, I feel like because of Sly's how can I say his downfall, the drug downfall, I think overshadowed his great works and genius. I mean, come on, he was able to get a record deal with Epic Records when Epic Records didn't sign black folk.
Exactly. Yep. And you got to give Sly and the Family Stone credit for being one of the first well-known bands that was racially integrated.
Yep.
Yeah. So they were definitely history makers. And of course, without Sly Stone, you don't get Prince.
Nope.
You don't get George. You don't get D'Angelo, because I feel like D'Angelo sort of falls in that same lineage as well, man. Like just that throwback, the gospel influenced sound with the organs and the Fender Rhodes, and that those gospel tinged lyrics with the repetitive choruses. Yeah. And then lastly, none other than Mr. Michael Eugene Archer, aka D'Angelo.
Now that one was another shocking loss.
First of all, I didn't even believe it.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, nah, this ain't this can't be true. But I knew that like he just, because D'Angelo would just disappear and then reappear and then disappear again. And so it was like, well, wonder what's going on. And then we find out what was actually going on, which again, I mean, it was a shocking loss, gone too soon. He was on that rise of being a musical genius in his own right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how both him and Angie Stone were now in soul heaven, if you will, in the same year.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for his son, who lost both his mother and father this calendar year. Man, I know that's very tough on that young man. I hope that if D'Angelo, if there is unreleased music that is done right, that they put out some good stuff and don't just put out music just to put it out, man.
I think Questlo's supposed to be working on, or was working on, something with him. I guess new material or maybe some old material. I'm not exactly sure, but you're right. I mean, I hope that somebody is able to put together something decent, because some people, they pass away and just throw anything out there, that they find. It's like, nah.
Yeah, I always say D'Angelo was a reluctant superstar. Like,
yes, he was.
Yeah, I mean, to him, it was always just about the music. All the extra stuff, like, he didn't really care about, man. It was about making sure he put out the best music as possible and making sure it was true to his artistry.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are some of the heavy hitters that we've lost this year. I'll just kind of go back for reference for those that are just now joining us. So we talked D'Angelo, Mr. Dwayne Wiggins of Tony, Angie Stone, Gwen McCrae, Roy Ayers, Steve Cropper, Sam Moore of Sam and Dave, Roberta Flack, Sly Stone, Wayne Lewis of Atlantic Star, and Mr. Walter Scott of The Whisper. So we lost some heavy hitters in black music this year. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome back to another episode of the Saturday Sit Down. T. Harris at When the Needle Drops, QG at Nerdy Little Bubba, and we're doing a 2025 year in review. And we just covered some of the heavy hitters we lost in R&B this year, R&B and soul and hip hop this year. So the next topic we're going to talk about, this was Super Bowl Sunday 2025. And this gentleman was actually the first solo hip hop artist to perform at the Super Bowl, to have the whole halftime show to himself. And that was Mr. Kendrick Lamar, who was riding the wave high of his GNX release, but also the beef with Drake from 2024 and the success of Not Like Us, which parlayed him getting chosen as the Super Bowl halftime performer. So we're going to talk about that Super Bowl halftime show.
Whew. Man. I don't even know where to begin. I love how Kendrick did it. I love how Kendrick had Samuel L. You know what I'm saying, dressed up
as Uncle Sam.
As Uncle Sam, but you know, he was giving us the black spin of things.
Yeah.
You know, I just love I love everything about it. I love the dancing, love the set, love the fact that he inserted Samuel L. in there and the theme, you know, and he was unapologetically being him. For once, it was not a boring, and I'm not saying that the other shows were boring, because they definitely were not, but this one, you know, had a lot more people engaged. And well, as per usual, you know, you always have the crowd that's like, well, I don't understand what he's saying, and why are they having those rap guys up there again? You know what? Get the hell over it.
Yeah,
get the hell over it.
If you don't like it, don't watch.
20-year-old out there trying to slide around on stage, know they're gonna hurt themselves.
Yeah. If you always say when it comes to Super Bowl halftime performances, man, like, you can pause it. I mean, you can turn the volume down, not pause. You can turn the volume down, or you can go get something else to eat, man. Go back for seconds. You ain't necessarily got to watch it and be engaged. But if that's your thing, that's your thing, man. I mean, yeah, change the channel if you like to. But I'm gonna give you some numbers that I looked up as far as about this Super Bowl performance. So, believe it or not, I was surprised by this. This was the most watched Super Bowl halftime show ever. 133.5 million viewers tuned in. It's the most viewed since the first one, which was Michael Jackson.
Yep.
With the Cowboys versus Bills Super Bowl matchup, the first one. So Kendrick Lamar, he said prior to the show, when he was chosen to be the halftime performer, that this was going to be his opportunity to put rap culture on the forefront. His plan was to showcase hip hop as serious art and not just entertainment, and he did just that. Now, if you know Kendrick and you've listened to his albums, he is a very cerebral thinker. He's a higher order thinking kind of cat, man. He's not just going to give you face value with any of his performance, any of his songs. His objective is to make you think, and he made us think with that performance.
He did. Yeah. I was proud.
Yeah, all the imagery, the guys dressed up in red, white, and blue, treating like life as a video game. Of course, they had the game starts here, and then at the end, game over. Of course, you know, he had to perform Not Like Us. That was the last one. The lady was like, "Are you really going to do it?" Yeah, of course he had to do it. That's what everybody was waiting for, to see if he was actually going to do it or not.
He didn't have a choice. He had to do that.
Yeah. So, and then of course, you know how it is with social media. After the performance, there were instant think pieces. Everybody trying to break down the various nuances and the symbolism and put their own spin on it and what it meant and all the Easter eggs and everything. But the only person who really knows what everything means is the person who put it together, and that's the artist.
That's right.
But it's cool. Like you said, I mean, I think it's great because it definitely was one of those situations where it made you think.
It did. Yeah. And like you said, you know, he was able, you know, because of the fact that he wanted to showcase rap hip hop as art and not entertainment. That's the thing that got it for me, because for too long, rap was just seen as, oh, you know, entertainment or the cool thing to listen to. No, it's actually real artistry in the music.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. So we're gonna move on to the next topic. Speaking of Super Bowl, we're gonna talk about this year's Super Bowl halftime performer, and that is none other than Mr. Bad Bunny and the, as I put in quotations, controversy of Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance. Dog, folks was mad. Ooh, folks was mad about this selection. Man,
you know what? This just goes to show. See, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. See, you got the people that didn't pay attention in school. You know what I'm saying? They fell asleep in social studies class. They skipped school during social studies class. You know, they didn't pay attention, because if they paid attention, they would know that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
Duh.
Which means he is a U.S. citizen.
He is a U.S. citizen. He is not a foreigner that's performing on stage.
He is a U.S. citizen, and yes, he can speak English. He just chooses not to, because he don't have to. But he speaks English. Yeah. So my wife and I, for her birthday, we went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
and the people in Puerto Rico love them some Benito.
Yes, sir.
Like he literally was doing his concert series, and everybody was like, "Well, why wouldn't he go on tour?" You know, in North America. He was like, "No, I'm doing this for my people." And literally, like, he shut it down to the point where I think it was like the first 2 or 3 weeks of his tour was specifically for the people of Puerto Rico. If you was an outsider, you could not get a ticket to that show. It was specifically for the people of Puerto Rico, and they love it. And I love the fact that he did it like that. And his show brought a lot of people to the island, like once he opened it up, which means Puerto Rico got showcased to the world. But for the people that's upset about him performing, I mean, you didn't get mad when Shakira performed.
Come on now. Nothing to say about that. And Bad Bunny was a featured artist in that performance.
I'm saying, I mean, you had other people from other countries perform, but all of a sudden you're all upset because a U.S. citizen who speaks his language is majority his Spanish versus English. You're upset that he's going to do the Super Bowl. And matter of fact, and you know what? Let me tell you another thing. Now, all these people crying about Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl. Wait a minute. Y'all not supposed to be watching the Super Bowl. Because remember, the NFL and the Super Bowl is woke.
Yeah.
Y'all don't like that. So why are y'all crying about him doing the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Y'all not supposed to be watching. Y'all not supposed to be watching the NFL. So I'm confused.
It's selective, as with a lot of things. It's selective outrage. People are mad about things that just because, like, somebody has to have something to say about something. So this is what I did, man. I went on ChatGTP and I said, give me a list of the last 20 Super Bowl halftime performers and their country of origin. And this is what I found out. All right. So this starts in 2006, right? In 2006, the Rolling Stones performed. Where they from, Q?
They are from the UK.
2010, The Who performed. Where they from, Q?
UK.
2016, Coldplay performed. Where they from, Q?
UK.
2020, J-Lo and Shakira featuring Bad Bunny and J Balvin. Shakira and J Balvin are from Colombia. 2021, The Weeknd is from...
Ain't he from Canada?
Yes. 2023, Rihanna is from...
Barbados.
So why are we mad at Bad Bunny? Why are we mad?
I mean, J-Lo is Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So why are we mad?
It's just you got people who, just like you said, they always got something to say.
Yeah.
If somebody is coming out that's different than the norm, or they don't like them for whatever reason, which we know the reason, then you know they want to cry, they got something to say. Yeah. But like I said, why are y'all concerned? Why are y'all concerned about Benito performing at the Super Bowl? You're not supposed to be watching the Super Bowl. You people hate the NFL, you hate the game, you hate the players. So why are you watching?
Yep. Huh? So we know, and these are some things I wrote down about this. So Bad Bunny, Benito says, when he was chosen for the Super Bowl halftime show, said, this performance will be for my people, my culture, and our history. He called this selection a cultural milestone, and he will be the first Latin language, primarily Spanish language solo artist to headline the Super Bowl, male or female. And part of the reason why people are upset with this is because he speaks out loud and proud about issues related to LGBTQ plus rights and representation of Hispanic and Latin culture.
And there you have it.
Yeah.
And there you have it in a nice, neat bow. That is the reason why certain people, that as per usual, as I will say, are upset, but they can get over it. And matter of fact, I want him to do the whole thing in Spanish. Don't
Me
put no
too.
English. Do it all in Spanish.
All Spanish, no subtitles.
No
and again,
subtitles.
as we said with Kendrick Lamar's performance and the previous performances, if you don't want to watch, go fix you a plate of wings and some dips.
That's right.
with some Tostitos and go on about your business, and then come back
Ain't
for the
nothing
third
stopping
quarter.
you from getting up and getting another thing, some sauce. Oh wait, you're not supposed to be eating that. Or getting some. Oh wait a minute, you're not supposed to be eating that neither. Or go get you another corrupt. Nope,
can't eat that either.
Or go get you a dose. Nope, can't have that. No, none of that.
Nothing.
So
nothing. Only things that are produced and made in America with English writing on it.
That's right. Go get your unseasoned bland food, and just chill out, and then come back to the game that you're not supposed to be watching.
Oh my gosh.
Now there's supposed to be an alternative Super Bowl halftime show. I think it might have gotten canceled because there was a lack of interest.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going back to, why are you people upset about Benito performing at the Super Bowl when you ain't supposed to be watching the Super Bowl?
Yeah, you can't be mad about something that you're not supposed to be mad about things you don't care about, right?
That's right. That's right. You're supposed to be moving on with your life.
So our next topic is, and this we're talking about, so we're still in February, the month of February, and this is Beyonce's Album of the Year Grammy for her album Act 2, Cowboy Carter, which was a primarily Western or country music inspired album. So I'm gonna give y'all some quick stats about Beyonce prior to us discussing this Grammy win. So Beyonce has won more Grammys and been nominated more times than any artist in music history. She has 35 Grammys to her name and 99 nominations. So before winning this award, she was nominated 5 times in 2010 for I Am Sasha Fierce, 2015 for self-titled album Beyonce, 2017 for Lemonade, and then in 2023 for Act 1 Renaissance. People's mad about this one, Q.
Again. And we did a deep dive on this already, but I don't care. I'll get fired up again.
Yeah.
The as per usuals were mad that a black R&B pop sometimes singer has invaded their space. Even though if you look at the roots of country music, it traces back to black folk.
Yeah.
And y'all mad to the point where you didn't want to recognize her. Now you split it up. I think it was the Grammys?
Yeah, the Grammys. So
now.
Yep. In 2026, at this upcoming Grammy Awards, there will be 2 separate categories for Best Country Album. There will be a contemporary and a traditional. And they tried to justify it. The Recording Academy tried to justify it by saying that we're doing this to reflect the evolving diversity of country music styles. All right, excuse my language. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Dude. Just say that you want to have a black country music award and a white one. Just come on out and say it. Stop dancing around the damn thing. Okay. Yeah. That makes absolutely no sense. As far as I'm concerned, country is country.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know why people are mad.
Yeah.
And what I find amazing is that these same people, they love Darius Rucker. They would cheer all day long for Darius Rucker. Some of them supposedly like Charlie Pride when he was singing it too.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, because it's Beyonce, y'all got a problem with her singing country music, even though she's from Texas. I'm pretty sure she heard country music growing up.
She's from Texas. Her mama's from New Orleans and her daddy from Alabama.
I'm saying, you don't get no more country than that. But again, because some people think that they have a lock on things, and because they think that we're invading the game, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Here they come. And you know what really kills me is I've seen some black folk talk trash about Beyonce, winning that Grammy of the Year for Cowboy Carter.
Mm-hmm.
They was even more upset than the as per usual. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't understand that.
Upset?
Yeah. And I kind of get it. Like I wasn't upset as much as I was frustrated because the albums I listed, like Renaissance, should have won in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Styles won that year for Harry's House.
Mm-hmm.
Lemonade should have won. Like, to me, that's probably one of her best albums. 25 by Adele won that year. And Adele even got on stage and was like, she wasn't even expecting to win because everybody in the audience thought that Beyonce was going to win for Lemonade. And she didn't. And Adele basically got on stage and was like, almost to the point where she wanted to give Beyonce the award. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and watch that speech. And she's like dumbfounded that Beyonce didn't win because, I mean, she even said to herself, like, you had the best album of the year.
You know, it just goes to prove that the Grammys, it's not about the sales. It's just a popularity contest. And, you know, if they like you, they'll give you the Grammy. If they don't like you, sorry. Even though you could have the best album on the planet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I almost feel like they gave Beyonce the Denzel Training Day treatment. Because, you know, Denzel had been nominated for so many Best Actor Oscars. Malcolm X, The Hurricane, were probably the two. He definitely should have won for Malcolm X and then win it that year. But it was almost like once Training Day hit, it was like, here you go. All right, now will you shut up? We're giving you one. You finally got one.
Right.
Yeah.
But Denzel had to be the bad man, the bad guy, an urban type character. Then it's like, oh, here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew that she was going to win it because if you remember the year before when Jay-Z got on stage and basically called the Academy out, like he was like, my wife has more Grammy wins and more nominations than anybody else, but has never won album of the year. Make it make sense, people.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there was, I will say this, okay. I thought about this for a minute. We talked about the split between contemporary and traditional as far as best country album of the year is concerned. For Shabuzi, a bar song, Tipsy. That song was on the charts. That song was #1 for 35 weeks.
Yep.
And didn't win a single award. Not one. The brother got shut out during award season.
I mean, on purpose. Because he doesn't have the traditional country look, I guess. And what's funny is he's from this area. He's from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah.
So, but you know, people didn't want to give the man his due. So
great song.
I guess a lot of it had to do with what's the dude that came out with Country Road? Not Country Road.
Old Town Road. Lil Nas X, man.
Lil Nas X. Because
him and Billy Cyrus.
Because they gave him some shine. They're like, wait a minute, there's too many of y'all. So we only gonna give it to only one. You know, maybe in another 10 years, we might give it to another one. But
the Academy, man, y'all wrong for splitting it up like that. I mean, country is country, whether it's traditional or contemporary. Like, come on, man. Like, just it is what it is. All right.
It is.
So again, if you are joining us, welcome back to the December episode of the Saturday Sit Down. We are just doing a year-end review 2025. So the topics we've covered so far, we've done an in memoriam of all the artists we've lost this year. We talked Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance and the controversy over Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show and Beyonce winning album of the year for Cowboy Carter. All right. This right here was the next topic. This was a big point of frustration for me. I feel like Quincy Jones did not get an adequate tribute, considering his legacy in the music and entertainment industry. Q, you want to start talking about this topic, man? I was extremely disappointed. Mr. Jones died November last year, and none of the award shows gave him his due. I mean, none of the networks. I was surprised none of the networks even done a tribute show. He didn't. Yeah, that was extremely disappointing.
And Quincy composed music for a television show. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it was a show in the 1960s that he composed music for.
Ironside.
I mean, come on now. Like, how could you overlook this man's legacy? He produced probably one of the biggest albums on the planet that to this day is a timeless classic.
We both got it on our wall.
That album right there. The biggest album of the 1980s. I mean, the joint had like a 3-year run of being #1. Quincy had a plaque in his house of, I mean, it was bigger than a diamond plaque. It had so many platinum albums.
Yeah.
And not just, and it wasn't just, him producing for Michael. I mean, come on now. The man was able to assemble in one day a song that impacted everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could you overlook the fact he produced We Are the World
Right.
in one session, one day and or night with so many diverse artists? Nobody else has been able to duplicate that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a good cause. But none of that matters. Everybody overlooked that. Oh, well, Quincy Jones just passed away. And you know what really kills me is that, and granted, now maybe they did something on like the BET Awards or Soul Train Music Awards. I don't know, because I don't really watch award shows like that anymore.
We'll get to that.
But I'm just kind of like, if anybody should have did something big, I would have expected. I guess I maybe had my expectations too high. I would have expected one of the Black award shows to go all out.
Me too.
But I guess I set my I set my expectations too high. And the Grammys, y'all ain't got no excuse, because Quincy's the reason why people probably tuned in to the Grammys in the 80s and 90s, maybe even in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on now, the man was able to transition from playing music to producing music.
Yeah.
And doing it for a long time. He was one of the first, if not very first or few, Black music executives for a major record label.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury Records, at a time when that was not happening. I don't understand people's thought process. I don't know if they got the wrong people in charge, people who didn't bother to look at his legacy, do the research. I don't know, but it was a piss poor showing that he did not get any sort of proper tribute.
Mm-hmm.
And to our Black oriented networks, I'm looking at you, TV1, BET. I ain't got nothing for y'all, because y'all should have been the ones, if nobody else. Yeah. Revolt TV, Aspire, y'all should have been the ones going all out if nobody else did.
Yeah, that was super disappointing. Like, so I wrote down the tributes that I can remember off the top of my head that were done, that were inadequate, in my opinion. The Oscars, all they did was a one-song tribute, Ease on Down the Road, which was sung by Queen Latifah.
Mm-hmm.
The Grammys, so they had Cynthia Erivo and Herbie Hancock perform Fly Me to the Moon. They chose Janelle Monáe to portray Michael Jackson and perform Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. All right. My silence speaks loudly. All right. Then Stevie and Herbie did Bluesette and We Are the World. If you're going to do We Are the World, if you're going to do a rendition of We Are the World, this could have went well. A lot of those artists are still alive. Or better yet, get together a core group of artists that you feel like sort of fell in that same vein of artists that performed the original, and allow them to perform that song on stage.
Yep.
It ain't rocket science, y'all. And then the BET Awards, you spoke of BET. On this year's BET Awards, they did a cover of Quincy's Secret Garden featuring Lucky Day, Luke James, and Miles Cantone. And it fell over like an anvil in a Looney Tunes cartoon.
So I understand they couldn't get Barry White. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I understand they couldn't get James Ingram.
Rest in peace.
They could have got Al B and El DeBarge.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would even let somebody like Usher.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Step into their place.
Yeah. Disappointing. Extremely disappointing. Quincy Jones deserved more than he received. And I think I saw a comment. Yeah. Our brothers over at And In This Corner podcast said Quincy needed an entire show dedicated just for him. Exactly. Yes. To cover that many years and that much influence in the music industry. I said this,
his own tribute show.
Exactly. When you and I did our Quincy Jones tribute show after he passed away, one of the things we talked about was when you mentioned great composers, we talking about the Leonard Bernstein and Henry Mancini. You also need to mention Quincy Jones in that same vein, because we're not just talking about R&B music. We're talking about jazz.
Yep.
Yeah, we're talking jazz as well. And we're
Because
talking about
Quincy was a jazz man.
orchestral
He was
music.
a jazz
Yeah,
man at heart.
exactly. The brother went on a sabbatical and lived in Paris so he could learn how to conduct an orchestra in his
Yep.
early 20s to add that to his toolbox. So
Yep.
he certainly deserved more. All right. And in addition to that, so shows that Quincy, you talked about Quincy Jones in TV. He was a composer of Ironside shows. Ironside was the theme song for Ironside. Of course, Sanford and Son.
Yep.
And then the original Cosby Show, 1960 to 71. And then, of course, we all know that he was responsible for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Vibe magazine, as well as the TV show. And then he had his own record label, Quest Records, as well.
And he did the score for The Color Purple.
He did the score for The Color Purple. All right.
And you got to think that was a hell of an undertaking because, you know, all the different scene transitions and all the music just fit that scene.
Yeah.
So come on now, that's musical genius right there in front of your eyes and ears.
Yeah. And look, someone said we ain't gonna talk about the 2011 version of Secret Guard with Usher, LL, Robin Thicke, Tyrese, and Tevin Campbell. Man, they throw that joint in the trash can, man. Yeah. So yeah, we oh shoot, and Quincy Jones also did Mad TV. Shout out to our fact checker for letting us know that.
Yep, he did.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic, but just know there's frustration on both of our part about the lack of tribute to the legendary Mr. Quincy Jones. There'll never be another one. Never. All right. So now let's talk about these R&B legacy act tours. Many of the acts from our childhood or even before that are touring. This started this year and then even into 2026. Recently, there's announced there's New Edition will be touring with Boys to Men and Tony Braxton. Babyface has a residency in Vegas starting in 2026. And then there's going to be an R&B Lovers tour. Keith Sweat, Joe, Drew Hill, and Genuine, man. And these shows are selling out. So what do you think makes people flock to these shows? And it's not just people of our age or a little bit older than us. Younger folks are going to these R&B legacy act tours, man. Why do you think people are flocking to these shows? And these shows are doing better than a lot of current artists.
Because it's real music. It's real music and it's real artistry. Like people are craving that real feel R&B sound. They're tired of the R&B sound of today, where you basically just take something, throw it together, add water, stir. People want something real, and the artists that are going on these tours and selling out made real R&B. They made classics that we still listen to this day. Classics that we may still dance to this day. You know, I mean, you're talking like you just said right now. Keith Sweat, Drew Hill, Joe, and who else?
And Genuine.
All going on tour. Now, if you know from back in the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a heavy hitting tour right there. New Edition going on tour with Boys to Men. People still love. I mean, New Edition really has. I think they're probably at the top of the game when it comes to these R&B legacy tours.
They are,
They've been
man.
doing this for a while.
They've been doing it for a long time. I saw New Edition in concert in 2012, and every couple years they're on the road again and selling out. They're not selling out small venues. No, they're selling out arenas. They're doing arena tours.
Yes,
40 years in the game, man.
Like I said, I think people want that real R&B sound, that R&B sound that makes you feel good, and it also helps that people of our age, a little older, maybe some a little younger, we got the disposable income to go to these shows.
Yeah.
And the shows are more, in my opinion, more accessible now, because I remember back in the day, like, yeah, you would have the occasional concert that would come to Charleston, but Charleston really didn't have a large enough venue until they built the North Charleston Coliseum. A lot of the shows most time end up in Columbia, and it was rare for those shows to actually come to Columbia.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But now, I mean, to me, it's more accessible because you have more places, you had the income, and I mean, it's nostalgic for us. It's nostalgic for people a little bit older, and the younger crowd. They want that. They hear their parents playing it. That's the sound that they want. But instead, you know, it's algorithms. You know, it's platforms dictate,
Algorithm
oh, well, we think this is
snippets.
what you like.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't know what these people like because you're not asking, and you got the wrong people in the room making the decisions.
Mm-hmm. Man, you preaching tonight, y'all. You need to change out that football jersey for a pastor's robe, man. You preaching tonight. This brother is preaching up in here. Yeah. So there's been some. I'm gonna throw some of the comments from the sat chat up here, man. This is another, a friend of mine went to this, but he said Uncle Charlie's R&B cookout tour is my favorite. I got a chance to see El DeBarge, KC, Babyface, and Charlie Wilson in Charlotte, North Carolina a couple months ago. The Trish Can says, I saw Babyface this past summer and is at the top of my favorite concerts list. Listen, Babyface, not only do he perform his songs, but he performed the songs that he wrote for other people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So one of our frat brothers shared with us earlier this week, man, said, imagine if Babyface kept all the songs that he wrote for other people. What would he I mean, he's already considered one of the greats, like as far as his pen and production game go, but just imagine what he would be considered as far as a singer if he kept those songs for himself.
Man, he would have been man,
right
out of this world with it.
Yeah. Then someone says, and part of the reason why we flocked to these concerts, he said, we know every song, verse, chorus, bridge, and the runs. They made songs that last, unlike many of today's artists. Like, you're right.
So I'm glad that the homie and in this corner said a part about the bridge, because you don't see that in R&B songs no more. Ain't nobody taking it to the bridge, and that's why a lot of these songs are terrible.
Yeah. So I just so happened just to see. I wanted to see. I said, let me go to a recent R&B artist. I'm not calling any names. I don't do that. But I wanted to see how long this artist's songs were, right? Every song was under 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So basically, that tells me, and like you and I've said, other people we've talked to who love music have said, they are creating songs for an algorithm. They are creating songs for a short, a reel, a snippet, and to get money off of that versus putting out something that's going to be sustainable and memorable long term.
Well, and it reminds me of the ringtone era, where artists started making songs specifically for ringtones. This is just another iteration of it, in my opinion. But I don't particularly like it because your songs are so short, but it also plays into people having short attention spans now.
It does. So some of the other acts that have toured this year that have toured, Brandy and Monica are on the road right now with the Boy Is Mine tour.
I heard that tour is great.
Yeah, me too, man. Miss Erykah Badu is doing a tour for Mama's Gun, performing all the songs for Mama's Gun for its 25th anniversary. The Queen's tour, which featured Miss Shaka Khan, Miss Stephanie Mills, Miss Gladys Knight, and Patti LaBelle, have been on the road this year. Maxwell, that brother tour regularly.
Yeah, I see Maxwell in person, live in person, one of his shows.
Yeah. Maxwell always on the road. And then Raphael Sadiq did his No Bandwidth tour, One Man, One Night, 3 Decades of Hit, which is basically a mixture of music and storytelling.
Man, I wanted to go so bad when he was here at the MGM Theater, but the show was on a Tuesday night. So I was like, nah.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I see your message down here. Hey man, just say the word. We there. He said, stay tuned for The Bridge Is Over featuring y'all. Say less. We there.
We there.
So yeah, these, like you said, man, it's not just R&B legacy tours and R&B music from these traditional or legacy artists, as we like to call them, that are taking prominence, but also you are starting to see our rappers of a certain age coming back and doing their thing. Wow, what a year for the OGMC. We talking the 40 plus and up who showing that they still got it and they can wrap circles around all these young cats.
So I had a debate with one of the youngest that works for me. He asked me who did I think, from the old school, as he said, would be able to sell out whole arenas. And so I said, the one that comes to mind off the top of my head would be Nas. And, probably Rakim, LL, and a few others. And he was debating me like, there's no way, because like Rod Wave came to DC and everybody was losing them out. And I said, that's for y'all.
That's for y'all.
I said, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I say, but I was like, that's the exception, not the norm, because a lot of the new school MCs, they not selling tickets. A lot of them had to cancel their tours because people are not buying tickets to see them live. The OGs is still putting out music that people are streaming and downloading and hitting the road. Like right now, Wu-Tang can say, you know what, we going on the 50 city tour. It's gonna sell out.
It's gonna sell out.
They can say right now, you know what, we gonna do our thing at, I don't know, let's say SoFi Stadium. That joint's gonna be sold out instantly.
Yep.
Because it's happened before.
Yep.
I love to see it myself because, again, people want to hear real music. People want to hear real music. They are tired of this prepackaged stuff. And my fear is that now that AI is becoming the thing and people are using it for music, I don't know what this is going to look like.
That's a whole nother show topic right there.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a whole nother show topic.
Yeah. But, yo, I attribute the renaissance of the OG rapper to Nas. When he dropped, he went on this run with Hit Boy, and they put out those 6 albums from 2020 to 2023, King's Disease and Magic, which was excellent. And I think that sort of motivated people to put themselves back out there. Like, yo, if Nas came back out and he doing this thing, then hey, I can do it too. You mentioned LL Cool J. LL Cool J did the Force tour in 2023, sort of coincided with the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And he was selling out arenas.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think, and a matter of fact, Nas has been reaching out and working with a lot of the quote unquote OG MCs because a lot of them are
Mass Appeal.
So, and speaking of OGs, got to quickly talk about the newest De La Soul album. That
my goodness, dude!
Whew, if you haven't listened to it yet, you go stream that tonight.
Yeah. I highly, I wrote them down. I highly recommend going to listen to that De La Soul album, man. Beautiful, beautiful tribute. And if that's their final album, they seal their legacy with the bow. They wrapped it and put a bow on top of it. But that's an excellent album. So
and then I can't wait because December 12th, Nas and Primo.
Yes. We've been waiting on that one for years, man. I am excited about that.
They are collaborating again. And if you are a Nas fan, you will know that Primo has his fingerprints all over Illmatic. So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. So some of the artists that dropped albums this year, of course, we talked about Nas and Primo that are coming out in a couple weeks. Actually, this week coming up. Ghostface Killer dropped Supreme Clientele 2.
That's another dope one.
Slick Rick dropped an album this year. Mobb Deep did an album. Raekwon the Chef did an album. And then, of course, the one that got most of the attention were the Clips. Let God Sort Them Out. Heat. Heater. You hear me? I listened to that album nonstop for like a month.
I'm telling you now, the one I'm on right now, Jeezy.
Okay.
Jeezy came out with his album. I call it Trap Soul Train music.
Yeah.
That joint's fire too.
Yeah. That's the one where he sampled the all the 70s soul beats, right?
Well, yeah, he did 70s, 80s, and even 90s.
Okay. Yeah, that's one I need to listen to. But yeah, like you said, JR said Clips is still in rotation. Man, I still listen to that album regularly. In fact, my Apple Music Year in Review, that was my #1 album.
Oh wow.
By far. Yeah, I listened to that album continuously.
Okay.
In fact, it's got nominated for best rap album of the year for the Grammys, but you know how the Grammys are, they won't win it.
Well, I mean, they might win it, but they're not going to show it because they'll do it like during the pre-show. Like, here you go. We're not going to show you on TV.
Well, dude, don't even get me started, man. It's 2025, almost 2026, and the Grammys still on that BS about not showing the hip hop award during the live show. They show it during the pre-show.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna move to our next topic. Outkast was just recently inducted into the to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right. And for those of you, let me look into the camera. For those of you who are like, that's not rock and roll. We talk about rock and roll. We're talking about modern American music. We're not just talking about rock and roll. We're talking about all American music, modern American music. So hip hop falls under that umbrella. All right. Thank you. All right. Q, what does Outkast induction to the Hall of Fame mean to the South?
I mean, Andre 3000 told y'all at the Source Awards in '95, the South got something to say, and the South has had their say since that point. For them to go from being booed at the Source Awards to winning, to being inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man, I mean, there's not too much you can say about that. They basically shut down all the people that overlooked them, all the people that hated on them, all the people that said, "Oh, there's no what's going on with this Southern rap." Well, now you see what's going on with Southern rap. Southern rap been cutting y'all ass is what it's been doing.
Facts.
No, I'm just gonna call it.
No, just keep it real, man. Since that statement was made, like we said on our show, when we were doing our shows on Instagram, and one of the topics we discussed was the South got something to say. Like when that statement was made, that statement was prophecy. It was visionary, because from that point forward, Southern artists started bringing that heat.
Yep.
And it wasn't just Atlanta. It was Atlanta. It was Memphis. It was New Orleans. It was Houston. It was Virginia.
Yep. But, for so long, the rap world, and granted, I get it, right? I mean, rap started in New York. We know that.
We know that. We respect that.
It's the center, right? And Southern rappers always gave homage to that. But New York rap basically looked down on Southern rap, which is no surprise, because you got some people from that area who still look down on Southerners. Even though when they try it with me, I'll let them know real quick, you can go on back if it's so bad. But that's another story. But they basically look down on Southern rap, and I'll never forget, it was in the Source magazine. This one writer said that Southern rap was nothing but people eating pork chops and shaking fat asses. That's what they basically said. This was like in 94, 95, because that was booty shake music, right?
Yep.
So that's what everybody thought of Southern rap, was just booty shake music. Well, no. Outkast basically showed y'all that we're going to do something a little different. We're going to keep it funky, we're going to keep it fresh, and we're going to make you think at the same time. And Goody Mob came along and did the same thing, if you listen to the lyrics closely. So, like I said, for Outkast to go from being booed at the Source Awards to now being inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there's not too many rappers that can say that. Yeah.
They are the first hip hop group from the South, hip hop artists from the South to achieve this distinction. The only thing I was disappointed about for the award ceremony when they received their induction was 3 Stacks didn't perform, man. They had other rappers come up and do his part. Like I don't even know what to say about that anymore, but I want to give credit where it's due. Shout out to Big Boy for continuing to hold down the fort for the Outkast name and the Outkast legacy. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're always going to associate Andre 3000 and thank him for his contributions for making Outkast what it was. But Big Boy been holding down the brand for 20 plus years. Still
Big Boy never let it go.
Still putting out dope records. Still representing that Outkast on his baseball cap and on his chest, on his sweatshirts and t-shirts. So he continues to hold that legacy. Still got that flow, and I'm sick of y'all disrespecting Big Boy too. Like the brother can't go, like the brother can't flow. Come on now,
man, you put Big Boy up against some of these other people. They'll get washed.
Exactly. Yeah,
they'll get washed.
Let's be real, man. Andre 3000 is who he is. He's one of the greatest MCs, one of the greatest lyricists of all time. But please don't sleep on his bandmate.
Nope.
Yeah. Please don't sleep on Big Boy. Big Boy deserves just as much love as 3 Stacks gets.
For sure.
All right. So shout out to Outkast for their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And hopefully they won't be the last group from the South that gets inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because I could think of a few others I would like to see get that shine. So
Yep. So our last topic is one that's super duper relevant, and it's what everybody's talking about right now. And it's the Diddy documentary on Netflix. Q's laughing. Everybody's talking about it. Now, I'm gonna be absolutely honest. I'll speak on some things about this documentary, but for full transparency, I haven't seen it yet. I know you've watched it. I know several people who have watched it, and they said it's extremely eye-opening. For some, it was a confirmation of what they've known about him for years. So this isn't new information, so to speak. But let's talk about Sean Combs' The Reckoning, which was executive produced by Mr. Petty himself, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Boy, oh boy. You know what? I don't want no kind of beef with 50.
No, none.
I don't want no beef with 50 at all. So full transparency, I have not finished it yet. I was in the middle of episode 3. There was a certain point where I was pretty much like, okay, you know what? This is too much for tonight. I'm done. If you watch the documentary, if you've seen it, you will understand why when you get to episode 3. But from what I've seen so far, my perspective is, even though 50 Cent does not like this dude and detest this dude, the way he put this documentary, makes the documentary together, he's trying to like show you like the origins of how Puff got to how he became how he is now, right? Personally, I feel like if and when Puff gets out of prison,
because you know it's coming,
have the same shine that he thinks he will.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he's not, because this is just it's too much. It's too much. I feel like there's another person involved whose hands are all over this in the background. I'm not just going to get into who it is, but you can put the pieces together. Because how is it that, and somebody brought up a good point I read somewhere, how is it that you got fired from one label and all of a sudden you got money for another label? Just that quick.
Yep.
So it was some things in there that basically was confirmed for me, stuff that I kind of already knew. It was some stuff that was definitely eye-opening that I never would have guessed or thought about. And I'm not going to get into it too heavy because, again, you have not seen it. I'm sure there may be people in the audience that have not seen it, but I would say watch it. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if 50 gets an award for it, just because the way that he put it together. Because in my mind, for the most part, it's tasteful. Again, there's some things I'm kind of like, but the way he put it together, it's tastefully done, despite him being petty.
Yeah. Listen, I want to give a shout out to our brother JR. JR been giving Sean Combs heat for years. Years. He been saying it. Like I said, this for him and many others, this was just confirmation. The brother been shady. He been shady. He been kind of dirty and foul with the money and the business dealings and the relationships and how he treats people, man. And you know what's funny? We saw it on full display in the Making the Band shows, but we thought it was an act. We thought it was for TV, but that was really him.
That was really him. And I'm gonna say this much too. As far as him and Biggie, for as much as he claims that he loved Biggie, I personally feel like if you love somebody so much, you wouldn't have put them in a dangerous situation. Exactly. This is not news, right? We knew that Biggie was going to the West Coast after Tupac died.
Yep.
They were told, hey, I don't think it's a good idea for Biggie to come out here. If somebody that I know that's in that life says, hey, I don't think it's a good idea for you to come out here
don't
right now,
go.
I'm not going. Or if he was going to be at the time, the Soul Train Music Awards, do the awards, dip.
Yep. Immediately. Do the awards and get up out of there.
Don't hang out. So I feel like if you love somebody so much, why would you put them in that situation? Now, the conspiracy theory in me says that Mr. Combs knew that Big was going to leave the minute his contract was up with Bad Boy, because Biggie had already started setting things in motion. He had already set up Undies Entertainment with Lance on Riviera. He already had Kim. He already had Lil C's. He had Junior Mafia. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, he would have joined the label. He would have carried the label because, I mean, him and Kim and maybe Lil C's.
Yep.
Can't say that much about Junior Mafia. He would. I mean, imagine what, and you know what would have happened? I think if Big had lived and Undies had really taken off, they would have got Cameron, because Cameron signed with Lance.
He signed with
Entertainment. So I think Undies was going to blow up and become bigger than Bad Boy. In my opinion. And you'll see this in the documentary. You'll just and then you brought up a good point the other day about how when Big died, everybody was like, oh, well, that's how Jay was able to blow up. Look again. Look at who really got to shine and who really blew up into the person they really truly wanted to be when Big passed away.
Think
You'll
about
see it. Just
about
go back. Just
Yep.
go back and take the
Yep.
timeline and
Yep.
think about who really blew up because Big died.
Yeah, if you know your music history and you know your music timeline, specifically when it comes to hip hop, you know who was one of the biggest artists, hip hop artists from 99 to roughly 2007 or so, who was one of the biggest names. And like I said, that's why I remember the members of 112 said, he said, in hindsight, thank you for what you did. They're thankful for what he did for them, but you never ever choose a label where the owner of the label is also an artist, because they never gonna focus on you.
And that's why you see so many people that were artists that had their labels with artists underneath them. A lot of them don't really prosper. There's only one I could think of that kind of sort of flourished, but even now, I don't even know who's still left. But the other piece I'll say is, now it makes sense to me, right? Why Suge Knight said what he said. Because at the time, I was
like, yo, that's hating, man. Why would Suge
I was
say
like,
that?
Suge, he just hating on Pub, blah, blah. Now I get it. I see why Suge said what he said. And as you watch the documentary, you will find out, in my opinion, the real origins of the so-called East Coast, West Coast beef.
I can't wait to watch it.
And you also will see who was really profiting, because it wasn't just, it was certain people behind the scenes and certain magazines that were profiting off of this nonsense. So, but you'll see.
You know who we owe an apology to? We owe an apology to Wendy Williams. Because for years, we're talking 97, 98, she was saying the things that this documentary has brought to light, or what recent events have brought to light about Mr. Combs. And a lot of us thought that she was lying. It was kind of tongue in cheek. She was being sarcastic. She was joking around, but no, she was being absolutely honest. She knew. And because of some of the things she said, he got her fired from Hot 97. Yep. So we owe Wendy Williams an apology, because she knew what was up back then.
And let's just, speaking on the tragedy that happened when he put on that celebrity basketball game. You didn't back then. You didn't know the backstory behind that. But, and again, you'll see for yourself just how much, dare I say, how heartless he kind of was towards that event. But you'll see.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Like I said, we're wanting to make sure that we haven't spoiled it for those who haven't watched it, like myself. But it's been all the talk, all the rage, and I figured, if this is 2025, kind of one of the penultimate shows or documentaries of the year, so we wanted to make sure that we at least discuss that. All right.
And stay off of social media if you're trying not to find out anything about it, because there has already been 1,000,001 think pieces.
Oh my God. Everybody got an opinion about something, man. Everybody has an opinion about something.
Everybody's dissecting it. The funniest one I saw was somebody said, "Oh, did y'all watch the documentary? This thing by 50 Cent for T or this and the third?" No, we watched it because we wanted to.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is not new, but some stuff is new. But I watched it because I wanted to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give props where I'm supposed to. Like 50, when it comes to doing television, he does it right.
He does
it right, man. So I'm gonna definitely give him props when it comes to that. But one thing, like you said, I don't want no smoke with Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, Bo.
Not at all.
He gonna put you out there. He gonna put you out there, man.
He gonna come after you.
Yeah, with receipts. And we're not talking about normal receipts. We talking about them receipts that they print out at CVS. They'd be like this long right here.
Yep.
CVS size receipts.
Yep, and he gonna display everything.
Yeah. So we have covered all our topics for 2025 tonight. There's, like I said, it was several that we wanted to talk about, but we narrowed it down because we could have been here all night if we wanted to. So we're gonna do our final this or that of 2025, and this or that is, we're calling it this or that, the R&B, the Legacy R&B edition. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to give you all an opportunity to choose which artist you would see in concert during their prime. Okay. So again, this is opportunity to choose which artist you would want to see in concert during their prime. And if it's a group, with the original members. Okay. All right. We ready?
Let's go.
All right. First one. Janet Jackson or Mariah Carey? I'm instantly going Janet Jackson. As you see, I got control on my wall, so I'm going Janet Jackson.
Well, I saw Janet in person already earlier this year, so Janet.
All right. Next one. New Edition or Boys to Men? I've seen both in concert. I like both. Let me give the edge to New Edition because they kept us entertained for 2 hours. And not just that, New Edition also has the solo acts within the group that have had success. So I'm going with New Edition.
I'm going to go with New Edition too because, been rocking with them since Candy Girl.
Yes, sir. All right. Again, these are artists in their prime. We're going Usher or Bobby Brown. I wish I could have seen Bobby Brown in the 80s. Bobby was a bad boy back then. I'm going Bobby.
I would go with Bobby.
I'm going Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, SWV, the Sisters with Voices or Escape? SWV, hands down.
Oh,
hands
I like
down.
them both. I like them both. Well, I saw Escape in person, so I'm gonna have to go with Escape because I saw them in person, and they did a good show. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Next one. Mr. Please, 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 Why Me Girl himself, Keith Sweat versus Mr. My, Johnny Gill.
Damn, another hard one.
In their prime. In their prime now.
In their prime.
I'm going with Keith. In the prime. Not now. In the prime. I'm going with
I would have to go with Keith.
Yeah.
I would go with Keith.
Yeah, I'm going with. But Johnny Gill gonna take you to church.
Oh, yes. Oh yes, yeah.
Hey, listen. Speaking of Johnny Gill, man, did you see the Christmas tree lighting at Rockefeller Plaza?
No,
They performed "Give Love on Christmas Day," and Johnny got to the part where he takes him to church, and Bobby was sitting on the stool next to him, and Bobby looked at him like, "Yo, we ain't rehearsed this part." Bobby was looking at him like, "There you go, doing the most." Johnny Gill gonna take you to church.
Oh yeah, for sure. He definitely will.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. No, we're not on the last one yet. The next one on our list. Y'all gotta forgive my computer's a little slow tonight. Stephanie Mills or Jody Watley? I'm going with Stephanie.
I'm gonna have to choose these. Stephanie makes me feel like I'm floating on a cloud whenever I hear her sing. Yeah. Now, what's funny is that Jody Watley and Stephanie Mills, well, one married this person and one dated this person.
Yeah. Oh, who was that?
Yes, they have a connection because of Jeffrey Daniel.
Oh, snap. That's right. That's right. I didn't know that.
Yep. Jody Watley dated Jeffrey Daniel when they danced together on Soul Train. And first, started with Shalimar before Howard Hewitt. But then Jeffrey Daniel ended up marrying Stephanie Mills in the early 80s.
Okay.
But yeah, I would have to go with Stephanie because, like I said, she made me feel like I'm floating on a cloud whenever I hear, Feel the Fire.
Speaking of Stephanie Mills, man, she don't play about Michael Jackson's legacy. I didn't realize they dated in the 70s. I wish they would have ended up together because I wonder how things would have turned out differently for Michael if he had been with her.
I think it would have turned out completely different. But as we know, the Jacksons were kind of color struck. So
you beat me to it. Joe Jackson wasn't gonna have his sons marry no dark skinned black woman. Sorry.
Nope.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
You know.
Yep. And all you got to do is go look at the other brothers' wives, and you know.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
With the exception of Hazel Gordy. Next one, Maxwell or Anthony Hamilton. I'm going with Anthony, bro. I love Anthony Hamilton's shows.
Yeah, man. See, I saw Maxwell in person, but I've never seen. Actually, you know what? I did see Anthony Hamilton In person. He came out to when Dream became Love. He performed on Friday night. So I seen both of them in person. I'm going with Anthony.
Go with Anthony. All right. Let me see what I haven't gone to the set chat and see who they've been choosing, but I think we've kind of been along the same lines.
It looks like everybody's picking Anthony Hamilton.
Okay. All right. Next one. These brothers are contemporaries as well. Case or Joe? I'm going with Joe off his catalog.
I'm going with
alone.
Joe.
Off his
Joe
catalog.
had more hits.
Joe got way more hits. No disrespect to Case. All right.
Yeah.
And then last one, I called this when we were selecting these, the battle of the light-skinned divas, also the battle of the divas who were done wrong by Mr. Clive Davis. Okay. Angela Bofield or Phyllis Hyman in their prime.
Give me. This is not fair.
I actually got to think about this. I haven't thought about it. I love them both, man.
Give me a prime. Give me Angela Bofield only because she had more dance hits.
Okay.
Because Phyllis didn't have a whole lot of dance hits, but Phyllis basically could, she could sing, you know.
Yeah.
But I would want to see Angela Bofield in person.
And the reason why I mentioned them two and Clive Davis, because they were both signed to Arista. And then he signed a young lady out of Newark, New Jersey in the early 80s. And he basically kind of pushed them to the side. And that young lady from Newark, New Jersey, who we became known as Miss Whitney Houston. So,
well, and what's crazy is that if you look at that whole lineage, right?
Yeah.
Like Clive Davis signed Phyllis Hyman first.
Mm-hmm.
Then he signs Dionne Warwick. Then he signs Angela Bofield right around that same time. Then he signs Aretha. Then he signs Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
And they all got pushed aside as some iteration for Whitney, even though Whitney and Dionne Warwick are related.
Yep. And Sissy Houston did backgrounds for Aretha.
Yep. Sure did.
Oh, man. All right. So that wraps it up for this or that. All right. If you, again, as always, blame Q because Q puts these things together. But they're always tough to choose. All right. And before we exit, just want to remind you all, like I reminded you at the beginning, man, to subscribe, follow, like, share the Saturday Sit Down on YouTube and Instagram. Be sure to check us out on both of those platforms. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Those of you who joined us, I know it's a busy time of year, so honestly, we weren't expecting a lot of folks in the SAT chat because it's Christmas season, so folks are attending Christmas and holiday parties and doing things with family and friends and out shopping. So for those of you who are with us tonight, we appreciate you always for being here.
Oh, yes. We thank you so much for joining us once again. And look forward to having many, many more conversations in the year 2026. So
correct. So I've already kind of done the gratitudes thing, but 2025, man, we are excited about the trajectory of our show. Like I said, we moved to YouTube July of 2024. Like I said, no expectations, just wanted to move to a different format. And I feel like we've done extremely well in this format. Like I said, we've gained 300 plus followers this year, just continuing to putting out content. So we have a lot of people who participate in the live chat. We also have people who go back and rewatch the shows after they post, once we've already done the live show. So we appreciate y'all either being here live or if you watch after the fact, or some of you have told other people about us. So I appreciate y'all doing that as well. So thank you. And thank you for your support.
One thing I wanted to say, along with the lines of season greetings, this time of the year could be rough for some people. They may have lost somebody recently. They may have lost somebody even back in the day, and this was their season to celebrate with them. So if you know somebody that may be struggling, reach out to them. If there's somebody that comes across your mind, pick up the phone, give them a call, because you just never know how that might change somebody's life. So
exactly. And I always say this, man, I've done this a lot, probably the last 5 years since COVID. Like when I get like that in my spirit to check on somebody, I'll either pick up the phone, shoot them a quick text, or call them. Like, because that's my way of like God tapping on my shoulder and being like, hey, you might want to check on this person. Because you never know, man. Like you said, Q, that phone call, that text message can lift somebody's spirits, because people can smile, but they can also smile through pain too.
That's right. That's right. And so, like I said, this season, it could be rough on people. I know people, several people that have lost people that are close to them here recently and or during this time. So yeah, so just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like we forgot to talk about cancellation of the Soul Train Music Awards.
I know, man.
I saw that. I can't say that I saw it, excuse me, in depth. But it's not unexpected just because of who took over the whole Soul Train franchise. So it's not unexpected unless BET actually, I think somebody is gonna already bought it.
They have a new CEO.
I think I got a new CEO. Okay.
Yeah.
But unless they are independent again, I don't foresee that award show coming back, because I don't even think it was pulling the ratings that it once did when Don, rest in peace, first started it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they tried to revitalize it, but I think once COVID hit, those shows weren't the same after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then lastly, with the holidays, and not just Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, if you don't celebrate at all, one of the things I want to say as we head into 2026. So many of you are probably going to see a lot of people talk about all they accomplished over the course of 2025. Job promotions, birth announcements, marriages, personal, professional successes. But just for some people, just making it through 2025 was enough. So
that's right.
Don't feel bad if you don't have nothing to brag about. How 2025 surviving is more than enough, because believe it or not, everything that's going on in this country, in this world right now, surviving is adequate as far as making it through a year, through a calendar year.
You showed up every day. Hey, that's an accomplishment within itself. So pat yourselves on the back, clap for yourselves. Yes,
absolutely. So we will see y'all in 2026. We don't have a topic for January yet. Q and I usually get together at the end of December to go ahead and start mapping out what 2026 will look like. But definitely be on the lookout. As always, we always post the teaser, post a flyer. So be on the lookout for the next show in January 2026. Brother, I don't know about you, man. I'm looking forward to some time off work, some time with family, just some time to just kind of kick back for a little bit.
That's right. That's right. This is the season. If you can take time off just to decompress, I say go ahead and do it, because I know I'm going to do it this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm saying? Yeah, I already told them, like, look, after Christmas Eve, I'll see y'all January 5th, 2026. So
for real.
Take some time off, decompress, spend some time with friends and family. And, like I said, we're going to come at y'all with some new stuff, some good stuff in 2026. So just stay tuned for more soul and more fun.
Yeah, stay tuned for more soul and more fun. We got some great ideas. Things we got to definitely just put it on paper and make it happen. But again, thank you for those of you who continue to support us near and far. Thank you for those of us who we speak with regularly. I want to give a shout out to our R&B Reps family. You know who you are. I want to give a shout out to two of our brothers that help us behind the scenes. Our brother JB in particular, who serves as our fact checker. If you ever hear me say fact checker, he's always on every live episode. If I miss something or forget to say something, he'll throw something in our private chat to make sure we don't miss it. Because again, we don't want to be loud and wrong. We want to make sure that we're saying the right things and giving y'all that factual. So we appreciate JB for doing that. So with that being said,
and I got to give a shout. I got to give a shout to my LB, my number 7.
I forgot about that.
My number 7. About that.
Walt, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we ain't forget about you, man.
Wally G, you know I'm gonna have to give you a shout out, because you be keeping us on track with the music trends. Like I said, you put me up on game way back in the day when we was in college and all that. So yeah, my number 7, Wally G, shout out to you, brother. Yeah. We brothers in frat, we family and music.
Yeah. So appreciate those two brothers, man, JB and Wally G, for serving sort of behind the scenes, helping us out, They are sort of our think partners when it comes to topics and things we want to talk about on the show or things we're looking forward to do for the next year. So,
Right.
you know, it's always cool to have thought partners when it comes to this this content creation thing, particularly when it comes to music, because there's a lot of folks out there, man. So we definitely try to do what we can to have our own niche in this thing. But as always, we want to make sure that we are giving you guys the right information. So with all that being said, I am T. Harris at When the Needle Drops, and I want to wish all of you a happy holidays, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, and a happy New Year.
And I'm QG at Nerd Lil Bullum, saying Merry Christmas, season's greetings, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, whatever you celebrate this year.
Hey, be
we
happy.
wish you nothing but the best. And happy early New Year. We will see y'all 2026. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. All right. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Take care now.